have over there?
I don't know. In Europe?
Yeah.
I think they have jail,
Dungeons?
right?
I don't know.
Ooh, yeah. Which is kind of cool. I feel like if you're an influencer, you could take all kinds of pictures. You can post them from jail.
There you go.
From the dungeon. I don't know. This whole, I understand that this is just in the EU, but this is very reminiscent to me of that whole Fire Festival debacle that happened a couple years ago, but it's like a hot topic now because of the documentary on Netflix. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. Have you seen it?
I have.
So I cannot believe that you are up to date on some sort of pop culture thing. This is the first time that I've known you in 6+ years that you're up to date on pop culture. And I had planned in our Shooting the Hack segment of going through and having you weed out what was real and fake. We'll still do it really quick. So if you're a podcast listener, at the end of the show, we do Shooting the Hack where we don't talk about marketing and we're talk about Fire Fest.
That's amazing. I will just to say that Fire Festival, when it happened, was one of my favorite things in the world because I'm kind of mean like that. And I was like, haha, all you stupid people with a lot of money. Look at this terrible experience that you were silly enough to pay for.
And little did you know, they come home and are stars of a documentary and awarded $5 million. So the joke's on you.
I know.
Okay. And that brings us to this week's WTH.
W?
T.
H. Okay. This week, we're talking a lot about Facebook, and this is an article from TechCrunch entitled Facebook Pays Teens to Install VPN, that spies on them. So I feel like we don't even need to say anything beyond that. That title kind of says it all. But here's a quote. Desperate for data on its competitors, Facebook has been secretly paying people to install a Facebook Research VPN that lets the company suck in all of a user's phone and web activity. So this isn't speculation either. Facebook actually admitted to TechCrunch that it was doing this. It was trying to gather usage habits on users, and they were running this research program to do so. So it's kind of, that in and of itself is pretty nasty.
It was super creepy too. They're like, here's what you need to do. Go to Amazon also. Go to your order, sort by the last 30 days and tell me what you bought. That's just weird.
It's creepy. It's super creepy. And not only is this creepy and rude, because I'm sure people were sending all kinds of information that they probably didn't intend to, but this was a violation of Apple's terms of service.
And while they did pay people secretly, it wasn't a secret to the people. So that's one thing to know. People willingly signed up for this, and they were awarded a whopping $20 a month in exchange for their data. So, Jess, how much is your data worth?
I'd like to think more than $20.
Give me a number.
$40.
Oh, wow. Double it.
I'm
doubling those teens.
I mean, that's crazy. I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to... I don't care, right? I have nothing to hide. People can spy on me if they want to, and sure, give me a 20. But like, if you're gonna pay me, that's almost insulting. Like, make it worth my time to give you all of this information.
Yeah,
right.
Make it 40. That's what she says.
You know what? 45. Up the ante a little bit. Yeah, but
get in now, folks. Price is going up.
So, an Apple spokesperson did confirm that Facebook violated its policies too. So that's really where this has a bigger impact. They blocked Facebook's research app because of it. And here's a quote from them. We designed our enterprise developer program solely for internal distribution of apps within an organization. Facebook has been using their membership to distribute a data collecting app to consumers, which is a clear breach of their agreement with Apple. So that's kind of why we're on fire with this, is that Apple took everything down. It also took down some internal apps, right, that Facebook employees were using, I believe.
And then I believe also that Apple, and might be just temporarily, did this, but they took down Google apps. I think there was a Google Bus app that was like a bus schedule for the Google campus. They took all the Google's internal apps down too, probably just to make sure that there's no more, shenanigans going on.
Man, shenanigans is a good word for this. I don't even know what Facebook is doing anymore, and I don't think they do either. So, WTH.
Okay, and now that brings us to this week's Cool Tool.
Cool Tool.
And this week's Cool Tool comes from Neil Patel. And the tool is Uber Suggest 3.0. And in case you aren't familiar with Uber Suggest, it allowed you to do some keyword research. And it now is bringing in information from a domain's search traffic. So it is expanding out. And one thing to note is if you are looking at that domain traffic, it does treat subdomains as a separate site, which is kind of cool. So you could look at it domain traffic or subdomain traffic, and you can see lots of cool stuff like top SEO pages. There's a traffic analyzer overview. But the big thing is this has been around for a while, but it now has domain-driven data. One other thing to note is I would be careful using this tool. Maybe this is one of those incognito mode times you use it. Is there's been some notorious past with some cooking and data issues with some of Neil's tools, mainly with Kissmetrics in the past. So maybe throw it in incognito, and if you want to give it a shot, check that out. But it is Ubersuggest on neilpatel.com, now having domain data. And that brings us to this week's must-read marketing article of the week, a marketing article too in-depth, too detailed for us to cover on today's show. And this is an in-depth one. This comes from State of Digital by Dan Smolin, and it's called How to Optimize for Searcher Intent, the Complete Guide 2019. Side note, not a big fan of these 2019s, 2018s. It just say the complete guide and then just say updated last 2019. Okay.
Fair.
But what Dan does is he talks about really going past the keyword and looking at searcher intent. And he's got all these great segments within this article about why we need to give up traditional keyword research, about looking and relying on keyword planner data could lead you astray. We're talking about the challenge and opportunity for looking for best terms. He talks about Procter & Gamble's mental models in here, and it's not about commercial keywords. It's just a great look that sometimes we forget, and he breaks down just the levels of intent. And not everything is about the keyword, and it's really about the people. And I think Dan does a good job kind of grounding us all there. So thank you for that, Dan.
Yes, thank you. And that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Remember, you can catch everything from the show on marketingoclock.com and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode coming up.
And we will see you next week.